Elemental is apparently getting a Disney Plus TV series following the comeback the movie got. Yes, Elemental is still going to lose money in the theaters, around 38 million, but the movie went from one of the biggest failures of the year to becoming a minor failure. That's a huge achievement. Okay, isn't it as big as Steve as Puss in Boots, well, went from like just one of the worst openings of all time to becoming like one of the biggest movies of last year. But Puss in Boots released during the holidays. Well, families wanted to see not everybody wanted to see Avatar. Okay, not everybody wanted to see Avatar. Okay, or the other movies that came out. Okay, some people wanted to see different movies like Puss in Boots. But Elemental series is reportedly in development for Disney Plus. Elemental, which was supposed to be one of the biggest flops in history, okay, became one of the most successful films of the summer, pulling in almost 500 million. Considering the fact that this movie went from, literally gonna lose, $300 plus million to just $40 million, that is a massive success. Okay, and Elemental, this movie was marketed very poorly. Like, if you look at the trailers, people didn't like this. Okay, I put a poll of, people who watched Elemental. A lot of people said this movie is one of Pixar's worst movies. I think I have to do a new poll about Elemental because, the opinions of Elemental have definitely shifted from mostly negative to mostly positive. It really shows that even, like, movies that were absolutely hated at the beginning can turn around and become positive successes. So yes, I wouldn't consider Elemental in any way a box office failure, considering the fact that it went from one of the biggest flops in history to a small loss, which will likely, make back its money through this TV show, Disney Plus, and other means as well. So, Elemental, though, the movie is releasing on Disney Plus very soon, and no doubt we'll get the data to see if there's demand for the movie. Okay, which obviously Disney Plus sees the success, the comeback the movie has made, because it went from like only 40 million globally to $400 million globally. It's not as impressive as Puss in Boots, where it opened like a mere 20 million globally to a similar amount. But it really shows that openings at the box office is not a be all end all. If people actually like a movie and spread word of mouth on the internet, the movie will have legs at the box office. Okay, we have been seeing more and more movies that the internet very disdainfully picks to be a success or a failure. Okay, the most recent examples of this phenomenon, excluding Elemental, is The Sound of Freedom, the movie about child trafficking, and Barbie and Oppenheimer. All three movies are successful due to the internet. The internet can make or break a movie now. A movie like Flash, which is absolutely dunked on for like months before the movie came out, where they had to revise the predictions for Flash, and they even opened below the predictions for the movie because the internet hated that movie that much. Well, no one went to go see the Flash. The Flash theaters were empty. They were as well. And Elemental managed to outrace the Flash, the fastest character in all of existence, according to every DC fan. Okay, but really shows that sometimes the internet is and I think more and more movie creators and more movies, developers, and more, people who want to get the movies out are going to use the internet to spread their movies. Obviously, of course, the internet has been around for a while, but really in the 2020s has really been the decade of the internet film. Okay, the internet movie, the movie that the internet deems popular. Okay, the movies that gain a cult, well, it isn't really a cult following anymore because the internet deems those movies popular. Because it could definitely technically consider Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, Top Gun Maverick, which Top Gun Maverick was still going to be similar success, similar box office sales to Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, but the internet made that movie into such a phenomenon. The Mario movie, Barbie, Oppenheimer, The Sound of Freedom, and Elemental, all these movies that are becoming successful simply because the internet likes them. Simply because the internet says, yeah, this movie should do better than the projections say. Let's make the word of mouth amazing. And word of mouth for movies has always existed, but you never really had, it was usually movies that, were designed to be that way. Okay, movies that were designed to be that way, or movies around the holidays. You never really had major movies where they had such small drops where they make $1 billion because of their amazing legs. It really was like determined which movies are going to make $1 billion based off the opening. Okay, but Barbie made $1 billion simply because the movie had insanely good ratings. Because if Barbie had sit-ass ratings, especially internationally, then the movie would not make $1 billion. It'll have one of the highest openings in history, but if you can't, walk down, you're not gonna get that. And same thing with Mario. Mario had insane ratings for April, even though the movie had no competition, but had insane ratings and decent ratings for May. Okay, Elemental is another example. So yes, Elemental, I wouldn't consider this movie a box office failure, considering the fact that we already talked about this. It went from one of the biggest failures to a small failure, which is basically can be made back through streaming, digital sales, merchandise, and other avenues, which is definitely doable for this movie as well, especially if it becomes a big hit on Disney Plus like Encanto did. And also streaming can save movies from being a box office failure as well. Well, obviously as well. So there were many movies that were box office failures, but were huge hits on streaming. Shazam! Fury of the Gods, Encanto was another one. Those two movies were massive box office failures, but found homes on streaming services. So both of those movies, yes, they were massive failures, but streaming kind of gave them a second home. But even at the box office, the word of mouth could definitely save a movie from absolute utter failure. As proven by last year. With the movies like Top Gun or Minions: The Rise of Gru, the rise of the internet film. I think throughout the decades to come, we're gonna see more and more movies that make $1 billion solely because the internet deems them worthy of making $1 billion. Okay, we're not gonna have movies that make $1 billion because it's a Marvel movie, it's a sequel to a well-related franchise. The internet is basically the martyr of movies now, and more directors and movie creators are going to have to accept this is the case. That's why woke movies have been completely and utterly failing at the box office. Okay, because no one wants to go see them because the internet deems them as not worthy as the kings of movies now. Okay, and I think it's gonna go further on throughout the future. Obviously, people want normal movies again, and the internet sees all these determines which movies are successes and failures. So yeah, that's about Elemental. So apparently they're now giving this movie a TV show, like they did with Encanto, because the miraculous comeback this movie has made from a massive failure, which means for once the Beanmouth Art Style has posted a W. Yes, the Beanmouth Art Style has finally won an award for not failing. So yeah, that's about this video here. Goodbye.